What's up, everybody? Quick episode tonight because we are about to get started and really do some major work on our next project, which is the iTunes album cover design, coming from a strict fan art perspective. But just want to give you a quick rundown of what we're going to be doing this evening. We're going to be first looking at the compositions that you guys put together, your homework assignment, right, to see that you guys were experimenting, playing in Photoshop, working with layers, working with blending modes, and masking, right, in a great effort to get what you got going on for your album covers to happen, right? We're just in the world of image right now, so we haven't yet got to where we're going to be combining it with typography, but that's to come, okay? That's going to be next week's video tutorials. We're going to be sort of going through the process of now all the work we've done in Photoshop is going to then come over to Illustrator, and we're going to set our type there. The reason why we're doing this sort of combination setting is Illustrator is just really masterful at type. It just gives you the great freedom to do what you need to do, and the type is always going to look beautiful because it's vector. And we can bring over our bitmap imagery from Photoshop and still maintain that quality, and all is good. Also, we're going to just quickly skim through the names of the bands and the songs that you guys chose. And then also we're gonna sort of use that as a dovetail to check out a really cool website that features fan art that are made by people just like us doing the same exact thing, but for real artists. And yeah, it's a really cool website. I've posted it on my courses, and you guys can check it out. It's a really cool thing, and I think it's going to be fun for us to sort of dig through, because we have the unique challenge really of how do we create fan art without using any pre-existing imagery, pre-existing typography, right? Like pictures of the band. We want to sort of keep this in a purely conceptual realm, right? Like those other methods are great, and they're things, but listen, the people who are doing that have access to those resources. We don't have these things at our disposal, and we want to sort of build a healthy practice of really sort of understanding and respecting copyright early on. Right, it's something that's, this digital age is really sort of easy to, forget about, and to just sort of do what you'd like. And I know it's sometimes awesome, but we want to make sure that we're protecting intellectual property of other artists. So yeah, so that is our unique challenge that we're going to be working with, but it's going to give us a chance to, I think, sort of flex our design muscles and come up with some really good, unique ideas. I think what you guys are going to make is frankly going to be better than what really exists out there in existing album cover design. So without further ado, let's head over to my courses, right? And we're going to just sort of do a quick rundown of the homework. Like I said, we're going to be looking at Coverlandia, right, as some inspiration, but then also in our Photoshop segment of tonight, we're going to be learning a brand new technique with masking that I think is going to blow your mind. Okay, it's a really cool thing where we're going to be making masks out of photos. So that's really cool. I think you guys will really dig that. So cool. All right. So first and foremost, right, we wanted to come check out our Photoshop layer composition. So I'm clicking over there, and I'm checking out what you guys have going on here. So it looks like people have been commenting. Good, right? Please always comment. I think that's great. Looks like Anna, you've been killing it on comments. Very, very nice. So yeah, so we're gonna just sort of quickly look through and just see, some of the interesting and wild ideas that you guys came up with. So all right, we start off with Anna. Very nice, Anna. Cool. I'm loving the sort of double effect where like parts of the image are revealing under parts of the image. I mean, that's really what this is all about. Very funny. The cosmic dog, right? So, oh man, this speaks on many levels. Very cool. But good for you, right? We've got this sort of foreground image, and you brought in now an external sky and the dog, right? Praise be to dog. Wonderful. Cool. Oh, nice. It looks like you took the picture from from our other website. Gosh, I forget the name of it now. Our tutorial website, or a stock photo website, the beer. And then you've used that in a lot of fun ways. Very cool. Right. It's so nice when there's like a lot of layers going on and things, and there's like sharp and focus, and then like sort of clear and not, and things that are in the foreground and not. I just think it makes for really interesting things. So good for you, Anna. These look like they're a lot of fun to do. All right, next we've got Miss Delia. Cool. So it looks like Delia, you did some experimenting in a really nice way as well. I liked a lot of the sort of play that you have going on. Good for you at this street. I like this sort of drip here. This sort of looks, or the ripple effect in the water. I think it gives this sort of a surreal feeling to it, which is, you know, Photoshop is meant to do that. Ooh, very interesting. So it looks like you did well with the, looks like the hue and saturation and difference filters sort of at the bottom of the list there. Those are really cool, and it's nice that you get these sort of like negative colors, opposite colors. I think that sort of adds a richness to it. The negative effect, though, has a tendency, just to sort of give it some understanding, some context. It was really, really heavily used in the 90s as it became a new feature of Photoshop. So I guess for me, you know, my perspective, and again, this is opinion, not law, but seeing this sort of takes me back a little bit, right? So it's like, I wonder if you had like a retroact, you know, could you sort of use that vernacular, use that language to take us back? I think that could be a lot of fun. Cool. Very nice. All right. Good stuff. All right. You guys did well so far. I'm really appreciating these. Fantastic. All right. Let's see what we've got next. We've got Abigail. Cool. Oh, fun. Wow. So in here, I could see some Buddhas, right? And then they only really sort of come through in like the dark shades of the leaves, right? And these sort of nice big elephant ears or palm leaves here. That's really nice. Oh, wow. Right on. Cool. I like that you're getting some image degradation here. Gosh, I'm wondering if you used hard light, or there's some image filters that like where it's not soft anymore or subtle. It just gets really grungy and gritty. And I think that can be nice when you balance it against a part of an image that's really subtle and soft. So cool. Great color too. I'm enjoying that. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. This is sort of, this sort of speaks on a lot of levels as well. Very cool. Wow, it's like so many unexpected things occur when you play with this stuff. It's really, it's a great way to create new imagery from existing photographs and those sorts of things. So cool. Thank you so much, Abigail. That's really awesome. Oh, nice. Victoria. So we've got, oh, wow. I like the use of close up and then far away. That's a really interesting juxtaposition. Sort of take these two opposite types of shots and then bring them together. Fun. Wow, very texturous and interesting. This could work well for, I'm not sure like where this is in the world, but I feel like this, you could do an advertisement or like set a novel or a movie in that location, and you'd have the sort of same effect. Very nice. Cool. Oh, wow. That van and that ice cream, two pop icons, right? Making me think of summer out in California. Nice. And then the sunset. Awesome. It's interesting that like when I look, I sort of see things in different levels and layers. It takes me a second to sort of get into the things that are in the background. So yeah, that's sky sunrise sort of, or the sunset, I should say. That was interesting. It sort of showed up as I was like about to look away from the image. Oh, wow. So you got a little bus from the floor, right, of like a bus or a train, it looks like. I think it's a bus. Oh, wow. And you've got this image with the lights, two good images with depth. That's really interesting to play with that sort of stuff. That's fun. And then here, nice, you have this violin player sort of in the foreground, in the darker part of the image. Right on. Very cool. Oh, and your stars. I see your stars. Good stuff. Awesome. Very cool, Victoria. All right, next we got Kelly. All right, Kel. Very cool. This one's really, first one's really rich with texture. I really like that you go to sort of have like the carved Buddhas in the background. Could be Vishnu. I'm not totally sure. Oh, gosh, they might even be, no, I think they're Indian. Yeah. I thought for a second maybe they were like Meso, either Aztec or Mayan or Incan, perhaps. Cool. Wow, I like the sort of blend of the jungle leaf texture and then the stone texture, the patterning. That's really interesting. Fun. All right, there's that ice cream. Something, I guess, yeah. Cool. So we got this beach scene, right, with the ice cream sort of breaking the, right, you got a 2/3 to 1/3, perhaps golden breakdown of the sky to the ocean here. And then a very interesting skyline. Fun. Yeah, that's really fun when you can take images like that and add stars, right? It's like, it looks like you did super long exposure. Fun. Nice. Wow, you get this close up here. It looks like, oh, those are those cars that are sort of jut up against each other. Interesting. Wow, with the hot embers and then the moon. That's fun. Cool. All right, next we've got Jamie. Oh, great color on this one, Jamie. Really cool. I like how, excuse me, when like you've got these sort of natural things going on and you add all of a sudden this sort of raw graphical light dark effect, you just really get some nice things. I love this. It's like, oh, you're getting all this echoed color in here, and that's wonderful. That makes this piece really exciting, really leveled. Um, Good stuff. Okay, next we've got, oh wow, I can't quite tell what you've superimposed. Oh wow, okay, no, I see now. Well, you've got a lot of image degradation here though, where it's like sort of getting chunky and worn down. That's very interesting. Cool. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what I was seeing here at first, but nice. And oh, very cool. Wow. So you brought in, yeah, that's another good effect. So like stars and like scratches, like photo scratches, or this light writing effect. Any neon stuff, anywhere like sort of, something's bright and illuminated pops out, creates really nice effects. Great way to sort of layer that on top. Very cool. Yeah, I like this effect a lot. It adds a really interesting energy to what this guy's doing here. Fun. Okay, next, right, we've got Alejandro. All right, wow. So you got the dude with the crowbar, right? Or like real scary horror movie guy. Oh, nice. I dig this. I mean, you took sort of three images from that website and really made them come together nicely. And then the stars, I think, just do a great job of locking it all together. Good stuff. Wow, it's a very conceptual idea here. Nice, cool. I like the sort of the contained bursts of color. I like that too. You're getting a little bit of image degradation, but you're maintaining other parts of things, which is a lot of fun. So good for you on that one. Ah, interesting. Okay. So you've got this sort of two landscapes. Wow, it's kind of plays with my eyes a little bit. And then it looks like here you've got this big deer, right? Or elk right in the front. Cool. Very nice. All right, then we've got Savannah. Oh, fun. Wow, cool. You got a sort of ghost ship effect going on here. That's a lot of fun. And then I see here you tried to put the crab sort of in the space. That's fun to do. I know like sort of without doing blending modes and just like cropping and cutting out photos is another way to merge images together, right? Of course, that's something that we can do. That's actually harder to do than what we're doing here, because everything has to match up. It has to have the exact lighting. It has to have the exact angle. And if any of that stuff is off, the reason I'm mentioning this is that the crab is sort of standing on a strange angle from the floor. So it made me think like, oh, okay. Because that's a sort of a whole nother lesson. But cool. I like the sort of, this is my favorite part, is the ship, the way it's working against that background. I think that's some really cool stuff. Awesome. All right, next we've got the doggy again, right, which we saw before was the all-powerful dog. Oh, nice. I like the sort of playing with the hair textures in the background. This little bird sitting on the perch there, right on the fence. Cool, right? Nice burst of color right here. That's working well. Oh, right on. Very cool. I think this is one of your best right here. I love like this sort of gridded pattern of the tiles within this sort of natural hand carved pattern. I think that's killer. That's really good. And then your stars are locking it tight. Your moon looks like your edges on your moon are a little rough, but it could be a stylized thing. It's cool. There are, you don't have to use the eraser all the time. There is a circular marquee tool which we can take a look at when we do the Photoshop demo. That might help you. But these are really neat guys. I appreciate these. Lots of fun experimenting and like just good colors. I think the whole point of this is again to experiment and sort of see what's possible. And then right going into our next week here, let me go back to the current week, right? Like and seeing what's to come is you guys got to really start thinking about concepts for these, right? So what I'm looking for next week is I want you guys to write a list of 3 concepts right in your sketchbook for your album covers, or 3 concepts that you feel like you want to connect to, right? So like listen to the music, listen to the lyrics, think about the sort of tonality of what you're hearing, and then let's try and come up with some visual concepts, right? So like you could sort of give an example and say like, all right, I chose the song "Born This Way" by Lady Gaga, and the song sort of speaks of this like being yourself and sort of taking ownership of your persona and all those things. So my visual concept is like I'm using this portrait that sort of brings together sort of like 2 sides of a persona. You know what I mean? Like So there is like me trying to create a visual concept in words that I can then create, right? So all you guys are going to have ideas about what's what. And I want you to when you post these, right, next week, and then I'm going to say, I want you to sketch these. So sketch these in your sketchbook, write a list, start to sketch out, 3 concepts for what you're doing, a sketch per concept. And then you're going to then take your sketches and then transform them into, visual concepts. No type yet, but just the visual concepts. So I want you to actually generate compositions in Photoshop using the techniques we learned last week, and then the techniques that we're going to cover just in a few minutes, and post those with your concepts written next to it. So we can see in your post, concept, example, right? I think that makes good sense. And then these will act as rough drafts. But then what I need you guys to do is before we record next week, I want you guys to all vote on what you think is the stronger concept for each of the different pieces. So that way, the artist can sort of go into the creation of what they think is the best idea, and then also have sort of buy-in from their colleagues. It's important that you guys as designers understand that, like, it's not all you all the time. You have to really sort of work in a team environment, and sometimes a client, a producer environment where, you got to listen. You got to sort of step outside of what you're doing and say, all right, well, what is this person saying and where are they coming from? And, let me try to find the good stuff in here that's going to really benefit the work. So that's really what I want you guys to do with when I make you practice this, because it's really important to sort of build that into your regular work habits, because it's going to happen. It's going to be in your first job and your last job, that those are going to be sort of the way things go. And then I've given you some specifications here. So I want you guys to create a 4.974 inches by 4.974 inches, which is sort of a CD size, at 300 DPI in Photoshop. Open a brand new file and do that. In fact, I'll do that when I do the demo so you can see. However, you'll save JPEGs, right? JPEGs are what will go on iTunes, and then JPEGs will be what will go on our forum. So the reason we're doing 300 PPI is so that you have the album cover in a high-res format. Because what if now it's like, oh, well, this is actually going to be made into a CD, and you're like, oh, I only have screen resolution artwork. You can't print screen resolution artwork. So this is just going to sort of give you like a master file to work from, right? It's sort of the master image that then many impressions can be made. So that's important that we do that. So looking forward, right, that's going to be sort of what it is that we got going on here. Let me just make that forum here real quick. In fact, I'll modify this one. Here we go. Yep. So we're going to modify this forum. Let's see. So we're going to say, please post your 3 concepts and 3 Photoshop collages here. Boom, 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 boom. Sweet. Okay, so that is now, oh, did that not work? Enter when finished. Okay, hey, cool. Please post your 3 written concepts and 3 Photoshop collages here. Okay, cool, much better. All right, and then, yeah, this guy, we don't need this here anymore because that's going to be all one and the same. Okay, so just please, if you could, like I said, post the piece there, and then the like the name of the concept, and then also the corresponding image that goes along with it. That would be phenomenal. Okay, so this is critical, right? Because we have a July 28th deadline, right? So this piece is due not next week, but the week after. We're moving pretty quick on this. But the skills required we've covered now. We're going to do more tonight. So it just the next week is going to be all about now taking your image and then sort of bringing type into it, right? So just be conscious of leaving space for type and how you want to sort of approach the type conceptually. It's a whole nother level. Okay, so yeah, so we're excited then to see your ideas, and we're going to vote on them. And yeah, I mean, we're going to, like we said, we're going to sort of move pretty quickly on this, and then you'll have a shot to just add the type, and then the following week it'll be due. Okay, and we'll take a look and we'll do a critique of what it is that we have at that stage. because we're getting pretty close to end of July and then early August, and then boom, we're right back into the semester. So we have one more project after this, which is a really exciting one. It'll continue to build on the skills that we're going for here, and it will give us a chance to sort of go into another realm of design, where now we're doing more with type and more with images in more ways than we have before. So, all right. So looking now, we want to just quickly now take a look at what band names you have. I'm curious to see what you guys all have. So cool. So it looks like, Anna, you have You and I by the Local Natives. All right. I've heard of those folks, but I can't identify the song perhaps. And again, the reason I do this project, folks, is because I'm so out of music, like with what's new and exciting and everything. Like I don't think I bought even a new CD or since like 2002, I think was the last time I stopped. And then even iTunes, I've barely. So anyhow, yeah, I'm a Pandora person. I like Pandora. I'll deal with the commercials. It's fine. Anyway, this is me stealing from you guys cool music and hopefully learning more about these musicians and the great work that they do. So cool. So we got Local Natives. Next, we've got Abigail. Abigail has the song Cheerleader by OMI, which, yeah, I'm not sure who that is either. But I can't wait to hear that it's going to be something phenomenal. And then next, let's see, we've got Delia, and she's got Dog Days Are Over. Cool, that song I know. Yep, Flow in the Machine. Fantastic. Yeah, it's a great track. Next, we've got Jamie. Cool, another band I know, the Pixies. Cool, gigantic, wonderful. That's a great track as well. Okay, cool. Way to go, Delia. Way to go, Jamie. You've got the two bands so far that I actually know the music. So fantastic. I'm excited about those. Next, we got Theo. We've got Never Be the Same, Built to Spill. Cool. All right, another one I haven't heard of. So I'm excited to see what you come up with that one. Kelly Dowd, you've got Party in the USA. I went there. I know. I'm so sorry. By Miley Cyrus. Okay. Yes, I'm sticking my tongue out right now, right in the Miley Cyrus way, but you'll never see. And then we've got Paola. Okay, Paola has I Am by AWOL Nation. Okay, not something I'm totally familiar with, but I feel like that's come across I listen to some electronica, and I feel like that's come across some of the channels I've listened to before. But cool. All right, next we've got Alejandro, and you've got Closer to the Edge by 30 Seconds to Mars, right? As we know, it's going to be pretty amazing when their lead singer, Jared Leto, will play the Joker in the upcoming Suicide Squad movie, right? They just released the trailer for that. He looks pretty good. But some of us will remember Jared Leto. Before he was the guy from 30 Seconds to Mars, he was on a TV show way back in the day called My So-Called Life. And he was like the dreamy hunk that Claire Danes, right, who's now is the lady from Homeland, used to be on that show, was sort of into and loved. And yeah, good times. Teenage time back in MTV in the 90s. Excellent time. And then last here, we've got Savannah, and you've got Taylor Swift with Bad Blood. Okay, yes, I think I've heard that a couple of times. Good choices, guys. So like I said, each of these songs has, you can come up with three visual concepts, three sort of concepts that exist in the music. And I want you to sort of pluck those out, write them out, right? Like sort of what do you think is a concept that's occurring inside them, right? So if we took, let's see, right, Florence and the Machine, Dog Days Are Over, right? Just even in the title, I don't know the lyrics all verbatim, but like, you know, the dog days sort of talk about like real down times. There's even the Dog Day Afternoon, the famous Al Pacino bank robbery movie. So this is talking about a time perhaps after that. So I wonder, you know, what are concepts in that? What caused the dog day? You know, what does it mean for the future? You know, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And I think then you can sort of create these sort of extended concepts that can be brought from what we're just seeing in just the music, right? So this is our opportunity, as we've said, to really sort of illuminate, right? The term illuminate in art even means to sort of illustrate things that are brighter than, you know, than what other mediums can give us, whether they be literary mediums or audible mediums, those sorts of things. You know, visuals help illuminate, right? To cast light upon. So with music, right, we're just getting the the audible part, but this allows us now to sort of see what it is that is actually going on in the space. So I'm excited to see where you guys go with that. I think that project's going to be a lot of fun. And like we said, right, we have next week where things are due, and then the following week we're going to have the actual album cover due. Okay, so I know it's like, whoa, and some pressure. I get it. But yeah, that's another part of our job, right, is that we want to be able to not only learn, but learn how to do things fast and increase our workflow, right, to be better and more efficient designers. So cool. All right. So what I'd love to do, guys, is we're going to head over to Photoshop and start to sort of tinker around with a really cool thing that I sort of hinted at last week, but we're going to sort of get into in a deeper way today. So I'm going to just switch over here to for this so I can be boom. What's up? Sorry we're not in our regular studio today. I'm sort of recording in a different location than where I normally am. So sorry for the bland wall and the reflection in my glasses and all of those crazy things. But still an amazing show nonetheless. So here we go. We're going to switch over to Photoshop. We'll go entire screen. Okay. Whoa. All right. And yeah, so check this out. So I made this today, and what this is this is sort of a bunch of images brought together. But let me sort of peel away some of the layers here. And the thing that I'm most excited about is really two things, right? So what I did was I took this sort of image of a landscape. It was just this photo that I had found on one of the royalty-free sites of a landscape. And then I got a picture of clouds, and I was able to actually paste the photograph and make a mask out of the photograph. So I did that a couple times, and here you can see, right, here's an example that I just did right here, where you have this young lady. This is actually a digital art piece that was created by an artist. It's beautiful. I don't know the artist's name off the top of my head, but I wanted to experiment to just see, like, if I took this image of this lady and then this image of the clouds, you know, could I sort of get that double negative effect, double exposure effect. Now, the reason I'm wanting to show you guys this is if you guys have ever watched the show, The True Detective season 1, right? The title sequence, the intro, they really sort of did an amazing job, and they did this in After Effects with video, where they sort of brought together these two images in a really exciting and fun way. And this is the double negative effect, right? That you can see, right? It's when it's done really well, it's pretty awesome. Here you can see, like, right, as a picture, portrait picture, but then they're using the face as a mask, as a way to sort of see sort of things through it, and you get this double effect. These aren't as easy to achieve with just the blending modes. So yeah, so I wanted to show you guys today the technique that will allow you to do this in a really great way. And again, there are so many ways to sort of blend in Photoshop and do all these things. I'm just showing you sort of the main ones right now that are going to really get you going, because there's more, right? There's really more. You know, we get into them in later classes and in other courses. So, you know, listen, this is going to be what helps you get to the end of the of this semester, at the end of this project, right? To sort of create these beautiful things. And I know that there's other stuff out there that you want to investigate. So what I would encourage you to do is, until it's on the curriculum, go look for it, right? Like the thing that designers really need to get good at is, like, you know, I want you to understand the tools and sort of know, like, where their value is, and I'm going to teach you how to use them. But, like, if you want to learn specific techniques and those sorts of stuff, go out there and look for it. I mean, there's so many tutorials, right? It's like, you know, tutorials won't ever replace a college education in a course like this, but, you know, they give you the skills. And when school is done and you need to learn more, well, yeah, where are you going to go, right, to sort of get that information? All right, so we're going to start creating what it is that we're going to be using for our project. So dimension-wise, let me just make sure, right, 4.974, right, by 4.974, which are the print dimensions for a CD cover, right, if we were actually going to print this out. So what we'll do is I can change this here to inches, and I can say 4.974 by 4.974. We're going to change the resolution to 300. Okay, you can see the file size is getting a little bigger. It's 3.7 megs. All right, and then we're going to do CMYK color. We just want to, again, keep this thing, just in case we want to print it out, it's like ready to always do that. Okay, all right, so we'll say okay. And now we've got a perfectly square piece, right, where this can be perfect for an album cover. These are going to be the dimensions that we want to use to sort of lock things in. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go to Lost, and well, let's not go to Lost and Taken. Let's go back to our other site that we've been using. Here it is. Well, there's Lost and Taken. Let's see, what was the other one that we were? Fancy Crave. Here it is. All right, so here is Fancy Crave. Cool. All right, so I'll get this image here. It's the first one that sort of popped up for the day. All right, cool. And let's see. Let's do the download. I bet the download's nice and big. Yeah, the download's much bigger. Okay, so lesson learned. I got to do that. All right, so copy the image, and then I'm going to paste it into my Photoshop document. Okay, good. It's nice and big, right? Photoshop, when you bring photos in, will, because it's 300 DPI, will definitely sort of shrink them down, or show you if your image is not big enough. In this case, my image is quite big, so this is great. I don't have to mess with it so much anymore. And yeah, I'm just going to get this so that it fills the frame, the square aspect ratio. Cool. All right, great. I like this image a lot. It's black and white, and it's going to do good things for us. And then let's see. Yeah, let's get a picture. Let's go on to Fancy Crave again. Let's see if we can find like a person. Oh, there's our awesome. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's see if we can find. Load more posts. Yep, we're looking. We're looking. We want to use like a person's head as like a container. So we're going to sort of try and, just for the example, sort of emulate what's going on in that the TV show intro titles that we saw for True Detectives. So I think that'll be cool. All right, let's go with this this Saudi Arabian hotel, right? I believe that this is in, yeah, it's Dubai. Yeah. Oh, okay. Grand Central Station instead. Interesting. All right, not what we were hoping for. All right, we're still moving. We're still moving. Let's do this one. Let's get this guy. Yeah. All right, cool. He's nice and big. This is going to be good. I think one of you guys used this in a previous example. So, all right, here we go. All right, we're back in Photoshop now. So here's the deal. We want to make a photo be a mask. Okay, so what I like to do is I'm just going to hit paste, Command V, because I copied the image, and it brings the image into Photoshop. But notice that it creates a new layer. That's not what we want, but I do want this photo to be inside of my my Photoshop composition here, right? I'm going to zoom out here so I can make this. I want this guy to be nice and big. Cool. Okay. So this is looking great, right? And I can do blending modes, and it's all good, and yeah, it's going to be fun, but we don't want to really do the blending mode effect. We want to get that sort of double exposure effect that's going to work really well, like we saw in that previous effect. So what we need to do is we're going to sort of go into a special mask mode once we create it. So first thing we'll do is we'll create a mask on top of this bridge, right? Because we want to mask out the bridge image in the shape of the guy. So we're going to go boom. We're going to say create new mask. All right, and there's the mask. And we can't paste there, right? We can't just say, all right, now paste, because watch, if I hit paste, it just makes a new layer, right? And that's not what I want. That's what sort of Photoshop is defaulting to doing. But remember when I was showing you guys that, like, if we click on the mask and then we start to paint, right, we can, oh, let me do it so we can actually have a decent size here. I'm gonna make my brush bigger. Oh, well, yeah, you can see in here, right, I sort of masked away part of the image, and you can see, like, it's painting black. All right, I'm going to undo that real fast, but watch this. If I come into my layer 2 guy, I'm going to do Command A or select all. So that selects all the pixels inside of the image, viewable space, nothing outside, just in the sort of artboard area. I'm going to then do Command C for copy, or Control C on the PC. And then I'm going to turn off the eyeball on that layer. And notice my selection's still moving. So after you make a selection, it will stay there. So I'm going to do Command D or select deselect. Okay. So A and D, right? Command A, Command D, or how do you sort of select everything and then select nothing? So that's really cool. But we wanted those pixels so that now, right, I can click on the actual layer mask itself, but I'm going to click on it in a special way. This is really where it gets, this is the trick of what we're about to do. So hold down the Alt or Option key, boom, and then if you click on the layer, here, let me move this over, click on the layer itself, if you notice, it turns white, right? I can go back, but then Alt click, right? It's different than just regular click, right? Regular click just moves over and it's fine, okay, cool, it's a sort of a painting mode. But when I do Alt or Option click, bam, right, everything turns white. Now, I'm actually inside the mask, like the active part of the mask. So I can now go Command V and paste in that image. But what happens is the image goes black and white, okay? Because mask mode, everything has to be black and white. It can't be that that's what's going on. But you can fix that later if you want the color to remain, as I'm going to show you guys in a second here. That's why I made a separate layer here with the color information and then this. But now watch this, right? Let me deselect, Command D, right? I don't want any selections on. I'm going to now click on the layer thumbnail, but watch what happens when I do that. Ooh, okay. Kind of interesting. We got a negative effect. I'm going to show you guys how this, how we can fix this. But right now, we actually made a mask that has gray values, right, dark and light values that normally would translate on top of the photo. But in this case, it's just it's an image, right? We made a mask out of an image, which is super, super cool. But watch, here's what we do. We can come in now, Control click, or sorry, Alt Option click again on the mask, okay? And then what we can do in this space is I can actually make this guy go negative, okay? And we're gonna get a much different effect. So watch what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to where it says Edit, and image adjustments, and then we're going to say invert. Okay, and what this is going to do is this is going to invert every pixel to its sort of opposite gray value. So check this out. So image adjustments, invert, while I've option clicked on our dude bro man here, right, who's in the layer mask, right? I pasted him there by hitting Alt Option, right? Alt Option are the same keys, but on Mac and PC. All right, so with him now selected, right, I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Invert. Okay, he then becomes a negative here, but now watch this. Oh, that wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Boo. But anyway, as you can see, though, at least we've got this, we're getting now sort of this mask effect, which is really nice. I wonder if we, you can play with the masks themselves. You can paint away parts of the image and make some really nice things happen. I think here, yeah, if I painted some black, well, yeah, it's going to make part of my image go away. But let's see here. I wonder, let me turn this back on. Okay, and then we're going to do a blending mode. Let's try lighten. No, not so much. It sort of brings some of the color back in. I chose these images at random, and sometimes if you don't use great images, oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah, giving us a little bit of that effect going on there, but we're seeing a lot of the guy. We might want to even mask him out a little bit to get some interesting things going on. But however, bringing in let me turn him off, bringing in this sort of effect here, right, where now we can come into the space. I wonder, let me try and do adjustments. I'm going to do brightness and contrast, and I'm going to sort of kick up the contrast a little bit so it's like a starker image. Here we go. Lower the brightness and then kick up the contrast. We'll say okay. All right. Let's see what this does to the image. All right. A little better. A little better. So this is going to really help us sort of get to that double effect. That's a lot of fun. I think we can sort of really do some interesting bits with what's going on. I encourage you to experiment to sort of see what it is that's going on. Like here, I'll just do a quick experiment with this. Watch, I'm gonna do a select all on the bridge image itself. All right, I'm gonna turn off that layer, turn on my color image of my guy. Oh, let's see here. Oh, oh, okay. He's got overlay mode on. That's why we can't see him. All right, and then we'll add a mask to him, and then we'll do Alt Option. All right, so we're going to try this in reverse and see if this works equally as interesting. Okay, so there's our image. All right, we'll bring it in. Let's see what it does now. Oh, okay, not bad, kind of cool. Again, the negative effect is going on, so it appears that sometimes we need to come into our image. Let's go click on there for a second, and then Image Adjustments and Invert, and that will make our images negative, which then have a completely different masking effect going on in that space. That's a little bit better, a little more interesting. But you know, it's all about sort of the how you stack stuff up. Now, I bet I can continue to do my my technique that I've been working with, where I bring in stars, right? So if I go and I punch in some NASA stars, right, and see what we got going on. Right, today was a big day for NASA. We finally saw a picture of Pluto, which is great. So we know what it looks like. All right, cool. Here's a nice, yeah, beautiful. Okay, so this is going to look great on what we got going on. All right, so we'll come back. Right, this is, again, the technique that we've been using all along. All right, so we'll go paste, right, and that image will sit on top. It's a little bit wider than it is taller, so we're going to have to just scale it up slightly. You don't want to really ever do that because it's going to really not, it won't print as well. Oh, cool. We're getting some interesting things going on here. Oh, that's so nice. Look at that overlay. That just looks so dope. Let's see. It's multiply. Nah, multiply goes dark. Let's see. Screen. Screen's a little too light. Lighten too light. Lighter color. Yeah. Kind of chewing it up a little bit. All right, so it looks like overlay is our winner. That's a lot of fun. So here you guys can see, and then you can just like slide these images around to get different parts of them to pop up and highlight what it is that you got going on. So this is again where you keep experimenting, you sort of keep doing the playing around, reorder layers, just like see what happens. I mean, it's really what it's all about. Here, watch this. I'm going to take this now, and oh, cool. So I did a multiply mode, and then I brought in the layer below, and it seems to have sort of punched up the guy on the bike a little bit. Oh, fun. All right, so yeah, these are all just playing around and sort of seeing what happens with what and what different effects and things I can get. So experiment, right? That's really it. That's the name of the game. I'm sure you guys are going to come up with some pretty epic stuff. So cool. So these kind of came together randomly. They don't have a concept for them, but what I want you guys to do is to start to think about visual concepts, okay? And now I want to skip over here. Let me save this. All right, so this is my, right, as we've sort of been playing around, this is my photo mask example, okay? Right, and again, it's just a couple layers, but a bunch of photos, and then using the image adjustments and then invert, right, while clicking on my mask and doing Alt click or Option click to get into those spaces to see, what it is that we got going on. So, all right, sorry, random experiment. I want to just try here real quick. I'm going to do select all on my guy here. I'm going to paste them again, turn off the layer. Okay, all right, now watch this. I'm going to make another mask, Alt or Option click on the mask, paste the same image in there. But watch this. I'm going to go to transform, flip horizontal. Okay, so now he's facing himself. Let's see what happens. Whoa, amazing. All right, so we got kind of a weird negative effect going on there. All right, let's hop in and then do our trick before. Image adjustments, invert on the mask. Okay, so now he's inverted. All right, let's see. Ooh, all right, that's kind of cool. So we got a little bit of like a weird mirror echo effect going on there. Again, playing with the same image, but using the same technique that we were playing with before creates some interesting results. So pretty nice. Awesome. Okay, so, right, we've done that now. Right, we talked about now another way for us to use blending techniques to sort of elevate our work to the next level. So it's up to you guys now to start coming up with concepts, right? Start coming up with things that are going to be interesting, right? So one thing that's really a good way to go is to, do a Google search for, right, for visual concepts. And I'm sure you're going to see things, you know, that are all sorts of, yeah, there's like logos and stuff in here. Yeah, I wonder if, or let's try this. Let's try visual metaphor. Yeah, cool. All right, so when we're talking about sort of visual concepts, I think the better term here is visual metaphor, right? So when you're seeing things, you know, they speak to you in a way that's a little more clever than you could have maybe written or spoke about, right? So you look at this Heinz tomato ad, and you can see that like they took, it looks like a tomato, right? That's been cut up, right? Or we see this light beer, haha, clever, right? All right, yeah, global warming, perhaps. Right, here's the girl with the pearl earring taking a picture of you, right, or a selfie, perhaps. Not quite sure if it's a selfie, but maybe. Right, here they are saying that this car is tough, right? Really interesting metaphor for Legos, right? I really like this. This is cool. So these are our visual metaphors on like a high level, right? Really trying to sort of help you, you know, understand sort of what it means to sort of be clever in a visual way. So, you know, these are ad based and photoreal and those sorts of things. So what we're trying to do is to just sort of try and, you know, get to a visual metaphor place that uses the collage technique, right? The different things that we've been looking at. Okay, so ooh, I like this little carrot scorpion. That's fun. So yeah, so do a Google search and just look for visual metaphors, and I'm sure you're going to find like some really great stuff, right, as a way to get started. But now let's take a look here. Oh, unbelievable. Sorry. I realize you're looking at me. I hope I wasn't making stupid faces. So here we go. Yeah, I need a control room operator. I think that's what this really means. All right, let's see here. So all right, here we go. So we're going to say visual metaphor. Cool. All right, so just a couple of things that I was talking about before, right? The light beer was one of my favorites. Right, this one here about global warming on the ice cream cone. This Heinz tomato ketchup ad, right? Sort of showing a sliced up bottle, right? There we go, right? An artichoke is a grenade. And this one's really cool, right? You got two Lego pieces. I'm sure you guys remember this when you were a kid. It's really meant to sort of be something that has to do with when you were a kid. And then here's like a plane underneath, right? What we would call a plane in Legos. So super cool. Let's switch over here because I wanted to talk about this really great website, which I put a link to in my courses, and it is called Coverlandia. And yeah, I was looking through sort of like the way it works, and it is a fan art website that makes album covers. And what I thought would be really useful for you guys is to you know, look up artists that you're working with, right? So like if we looked up the Pixies, for example, let's see if there's some stuff in here. All right, so here's Where Is My Mind, right, by the Pixies, right, which is definitely a different album cover, right, than what it all is. Let's see, if we typed in Pixies, Where Is My Mind. This is a classic song from Surfer Rosa. Yeah, so if we did Rosa, yeah, so you can see like this is like very 90s, this Pixies album cover from back in the day. A little nudity there. So right, you can sort of see that this idea takes it to a whole nother level, right? I like the sort of inverted ocean, Where Is My Mind, right? It's like, this is a lot of fun. So I think you guys could probably plug in some things in here, right? Let's see. Some of the newer acts and stuff will be a lot more popular. So here's Taylor Swift. You can see sort of different takes on all her different album covers, right? Like some people took Bad Blood and made it into like a ninja poster, right? Some cool stuff. Here's right, back in style, right? And you can see here, like they're using that cutout where we have the profile image. So some very interesting and unique stuff. So what I want you guys to do, right, is to come on this website, look around, see what's here. Oh gosh, sorry. This is just so retro 80s here. Oh God. Wow. Unbelievable. It's making me feel old. I think I had like a folder in like, let's see, so 1989, I was in what, I think I was in 5th grade. Yeah. And I think I had a Trapper Keeper folder that had this like this look on it, the grid with the neon stuff and the shiny type. So anyway, this website Coverlandia is really cool, and you can when you can join up, I believe that you can actually submit work. So what I'm going to have us do is after we approve these, after we go through the final critique, I'm going to have you guys get these really sort of in shape for wanting to post up on this website Coverlandia, because it's a fun way to, you know, again, publish your stuff, right, to get it out there. And because it's fan art, right, you're creating this 100% originally. So make sure, guys, that you're either using imagery that you take with your own camera, that's possible, or imagery from some of the websites that we've looked at, as well as others that you can find that'll help you really make this stuff look great. So Coverlandia, guys, is really cool. You should definitely come through here. I love this, the Demi Lovato, yeah, let me pull this one up here. Let's see, Demi Lovato. For the cool for the summer. Like this one seems to be really popular. Looks like everybody just sort of killed it on this one. But again, right, like who's going to do this, right? Everybody's using her, right? Pictures of her, and it's like, oh, okay, great. But we want to go completely fan-based with no use of any of the things previously, right? So, you know, we want to be careful about typography and those sorts of stuff, and not be tempted to just use what exists. Everything of ours has to be original. So yeah, I would love it for you guys if you went over there and just started to look around at like the different things that they have, different examples, those sorts of things. Here, I'm going to pull open the Google Hangout, come back to you guys here for a second. Boom. So this is a fun project, right? It sort of combines two worlds. Like I've always wanted to make, you know, like an album cover for the next great band. I've made a couple album covers. In fact, you can head over to Mike Worth Art. You can see the album cover that I designed for Actual Proof, the band here in Charlotte. I did their second record, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, it's like, you know, coming up with concepts and ways to sort of interpret music and interpret music singles and what the band means versus sort of what you're hearing, right? It's really open to interpretation, which makes this project really fun, and it gives a lot of room for creativity. So guys, all right, next week, 3 concepts, right, with and the sketches that I mentioned, do those in your sketchbook, right? Like write down a concept and then sort of do the doodle next to it. I'm going to trust you and give the benefit of the doubt of trusting that you go through the sketch process, but then you take what you did there and that you put it into Photoshop and start to build those compositions, so that we have 3 examples to choose from, okay, that we're all going to vote on. So everybody will say, oh, I love, you know, this one because, right, we want to keep our critiques going, but I want to make sure that you guys are substantiating, you know, what you're saying, right, the assertions that you make, like, oh, this is the best because, right, you've got to really fill in the blank there. Okay, so as I mentioned, guys, this is going to be a short class tonight. We've got our new Photoshop technique that we've applied to what we learned previously with blending modes, right? We just want to sort of build that technique, see where it goes, really just have fun experimenting. And then next week, guys, we're going to dig into talking about type, okay? And we're also going to have a nice lecture on color theory, okay? So I want to give you guys sort of the basics of color theory from my perspective, what I've learned and what I've seen, and get you connected to the tools that are going to empower you to be a really a sort of appropriate and effective user of color, right? It's another tool in our tool belt, but it's one that we have to master, okay? So until next time, guys, enjoy the week, okay? Stay tuned tonight because there's going to be some great new images, sort of historical moment for NASA, right? We're going to see pictures of Pluto. Enjoy that, right? Because those are your tax dollars at work. Maybe you can bring Pluto into the mix, right? Sort of this lowly planet as a concept that could be very interesting. But I am Mike Worth, and it has been a pleasure, and I will see you guys next week.